Hi YouTube, this is Stephanie with Exclusive SB. Thank you for joining me today. This is 2019 Vlogmas Day 15. And today I just wanted to share with you all my little Sunday, sit down. I want to call it like the sip and gab, just to show you guys what I kind of do to plan before the next week comes along. And also because this is the last month of 2019, I'm also going to do some pre-planning for 2020. So really quick, just what I typically do, I spend about 30 to 45 minutes just trying to wind down before it gets too late in the day. And like what I like to do is start off with a journal writing. Sometimes I'll just go into my journal and like just free write anything that comes out of my mind. I guess they call it like dumping, brain dump or whatever. So I'll journal that way, or sometimes I'll use a actual journal per se that has promptings or journal promptings, and I'll go through that. I do have one that I can share with you that I just recently purchased from, I believe, Barnes and Noble, and it's called Be Inspired Journal. So just to give you an overview, it has like a quote in here first from like a famous person, and then it has of course the journal prompting. So like this one was, the first quote was says, "A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new." And that's by Albert Einstein. And then the journal prompting is, "Describe the best mistake you've ever made and all the positive things you learned from the mistake." So I kind of like this journal because it's not something that you can just usually just go in and start writing immediately. It kind of forces you to think about what you're writing. So that's kind of like why I like this. And then after I do my journal prompt, writing to the prompt, I'll go in and I'll pick out an affirmation. I have a book that I also got from Barnes and Noble. It's called Daily Affirmations. It has 500 self affirmations to get you out of the bed in the morning. I don't read the first thing in the morning, but this is the book here, and it's actually pretty thick. You see how thick that is? And I like it because it has like these huge images here. See how it is? So it's like different affirmations, but then it's like very colorful with the bold lettering and things like that. So I don't really start at the beginning of the book. I usually just go in and pick one. So like the one that I picked today would say something like, "I have the power to control my health." So that's the one that I kind of just turn to. So then I'll just write that affirmation down. And if something comes to me about that, then I'll reflect on it also. And then the next thing I'll do after I do my journal writing and my affirmation, then I start doing my calendar planning. So the thing about me and calendars, I love the concept of the written calendar, like with stickers in and you sit down and you plan. But for me, it tends to take up a little bit more time. And I found that it was kind of hard for me to stick to. So what has been working for me is utilizing my Google Calendar on my iPad. So I usually just pick up my iPad and I'll go to Google Calendar, and then if I block out my time, and I try to use the color codes, I use like 3 colors depending on what I'm blocking out. So if it's like financial that I need to focus on, I may put that in green. If I'm focusing on the business, I'll put that in my brand colors like the purple or gray. And then if I'm trying to do something like fitness or self-help, then I'll probably like put that in like the color yellow or something like that. But I try to block out the time, and for me it works because my calendar is with me on everything. So it's on my cell phone, it's on the desktop, and then it's also on my iPad. And I can always just, refresh, and it's always up to date. And then also with the Google Calendar that I like is that you can put the time in to prompt you. So it kind of keeps you focused on that time that you blocked it for. And then of course, once you get that new alarm update, you're like, okay, well, let me switch over to what I need to do next. So I kind of like planning that way. So I think I'm going to continue to do that for 2020 with the Google Calendar. I do still have the actual paper planners. So I'll have to just make a determination. I'll have to determine which ones, I kind of will like going forward. And then after that, the only other thing that I do It's just I may meditate for a little while. So I tend to meditate for like maybe 5 minutes or so. I don't meditate for a very long time, but I do usually either get some a favorite cup of tea. So like today I have my ginger tea, and I meant to put a peppermint in there, but I didn't today. And then I also go ahead and I light my candle. And my favorite candle that I like to use so far is this candle that I purchased from Target. It's by Chesapeake Bay, Mind and Body. And it's the Reflection plus Clarity Sea Salt Sage. So I've actually purchased 2 of these so far this year because I only light it on Sunday, right before I start doing all my planning and meditation and all of that. So they tend to last for a very long time. So that's what I typically do on a Sunday. And what I'm going to do for 2020, I like to use in the month of December, usually the 2 to 3 weekends, that Saturday and that Sunday, to plan for 2020. So this weekend I'll start planning for the financial part that I want to focus on for 2020, and then the following weekend I'll go ahead and put the business and self-care together. And for me, it doesn't take me that long to plan those things because most of it is kind of repetitive from year over year, and I may make tweaks here and there, so it doesn't really take that long for me to plan those things out, but I do like to block out that time. So that's pretty much what I do on a Sunday. And then for the rest of this Sunday, for Vlogmas, the only other thing that I have planned is to actually put up my actual Christmas tree. So guys know I put the little one up, but I need to put the actual Christmas tree up today. So that's pretty much all I have planned, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks.